Hey everyone, welcome to the Cleats and Carpool podcast. I'm your host, Coach Bryan, assistant coach of my son Xander's 12U baseball team. That's right, folks. I'm the guy yelling encouragement from the dugout, wiping down muddy cleats after rain delays, and occasionally questioning my life choices when we're down by 10 in the sixth. But hey, that's youth baseball for you. If you're watching on YouTube, give us a thumbs up if you ever survived a carpool full of post-game pizza smells and sibling arguments. If you missed the last episode, we talked about the parent code of conduct. We heard a lot about what coaches wish parents knew, like please don't coach from the stands. Now, as a coach myself and a parent, I decided to flip the usual script this episode. Today, we're diving into the parent side, what parents wish coaches knew. This isn't about bashing coaches. Most of us are volunteers juggling full-time jobs and our own kids' games. It's about sharing insights to make youth baseball better for everyone, parents, coaches, and especially the players. We'll keep it fun, light with a dash of sarcasm because, let's face it, if you can't laugh at a botched bunt play, you're in the wrong sport. I'll draw from my experiences with Zan's team, plus some real talk from parent forums, coaching clinics, and even recent studies. Because who doesn't love a little science with their sliders? If you're a parent stressing over playing time, a coach looking for tips, or a player eavesdropping on adult drama, this one's for you. Well, let's get into the show. All right, let's start with the big one, communication and transparency. Parents wish coaches knew just how much unclear or zero communication turns family life into a circus. Picture this. You're planning dinner. You've got work calls, maybe even a rare date night, and boom, practice is canceled via a cryptic text at 5:45 p.m. Or worse, no text at all, and you're sitting in the parking lot like a chump. From my side as a coach, I've seen it firsthand. On Zan's team, we use apps like GroupMe and Game Changer for everything. Practice time or location changes, uniforms for games, plans for the next tournament, etc. But I've also coached with guys who treated info like classified secrets. Parents aren't mind readers. A quick preseason meeting sets expectations. For example, hey, we'll post lineups by Friday night, and if your kid's not starting, it's not personal. It's strategy or development. Here's some science to back this up. A 2024 study from the Journal of Sports Psychology looked at coach-parent dynamics and found that teams with frequent, transparent communication had 25% higher parent satisfaction and better player retention. Nonverbal stuff matters too. Research from Beyond Pulse shows athletes pick up on coaches' body language 4.5 times faster than words. So if you're crossing your arms, shaking your head nonstop, and glaring, kids notice. Coaches, if you want parents to stop helicoptering, just talk to them. I promise, they will not bite much. Now the hot potato, playing time. And yes, I said potato. The number one rant in parent group chats. Parents wish coaches knew how soul-crushing it is when a kid puts in the effort but warms a bench or doesn't see much time and opportunities as others. Coaches, it's not about entitlement. It's about feeling valued. Let's break this down with a few examples. First, the whole game bench heartbreaker. Imagine your 10U team's up big, but the coach keeps the stars in for a shutout. Your kid, dugout duty all game. It sucks, and I totally get it. Studies from the Journal of Youth Sports shows that players improve motor skills 25% faster in actual games than practices. So benching them misses their prime development time. On Zan's team, we rotate in blowouts. It's not just fair, it's smart science. And plus, we like to have a little more fun than usual with this and get an all-lefty infield into the game. Me, I'm an infield guy, and it low-key makes me laugh, but it also makes me cringe. But the boys take it as a hell yeah moment, and the parents love it as well. So, I deal with it. Next, the locked-in position trap. Kids stuck in right field forever while shortstop's a revolving door for the elite. Parents think, my boy's arm is improving. Give him a shot. A 2024 longitudinal study on youth baseball development from ResearchGate tracked swing velocity and sprint times, showing that position variety builds well-rounded athletes. During the offseason, we actually had a kid from another competitive team attend one of our tryouts because of this. One of his biggest reasons was that he was locked into playing outfield and couldn't get any reps anywhere else. And mind you, I thought he was a good athlete, and I think he should have been playing other positions. Coaches, please mix it up. Then there's effort versus talent. The hustler who dies for every ball but sits more than the gifted kid with attitude issues. Which coaches rewarded grit visibly? Driveline Baseball 2025 report on youth optimization stresses balancing health and reps over favoring talent leads to burnout. Xander's a hustler type. I've seen him light up when coaches notice his backups, not just his homers. And the last minute lineup surprise? Finding out at game time your kid's batting ninth or he's starting pitcher with no heads up. Communicate, folks. It turns a car ride home into therapy session central every single time. At 12U and under, prioritize development over wins. Rotate, reward improvement, explain decisions. If we treated adults like this at work, hey, Bryan, you're benched today because blah, 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 they'd be freaking mutiny. Recent data from Project Play's 2025 report shows youth participation rebounding to 55%, but unequal play is a top dropout reason. Guys, let's keep the kids in the game. Now, coaches, let me ask you guys something. When do you tell the kids who's starting on the mound and where they're hitting in the lineup? Do you drop it on them during the warm-ups like a plot twist, or do you give them a heads up the day before so they can prepare mentally? I used to wonder if I was overthinking this, until I realized how much it can affect the kid's confidence and performance. Let's break this down real quick. If we look at the pro level, college, and even high school, lineups often drop a day ahead, sometimes more. Players get time to visualize, lock in routines, and get their head right. MLB guys talk about mental prep being 90% of the game, but we're dealing with 12U and younger. These are kids. So should we copy the big leagues exactly? Not always. The goal here is development, fun, and building resilience, right? Not creating mini pro pressure cookers. That said, I've seen what happens when you surprise a kid right before his first pitch. Nerves spike, they feel unprepared, maybe they walk the first batter because their mind's racing instead of focusing on the catcher's mitt, or a hitter gets told they're batting ninth after a great practice week and the wind comes out of their sails. On the flip side, telling them too far ahead can make some kids overthink it for 24 hours straight. What if I mess up? What if coaches change his mind? So here's a sweet spot I've come to terms with and why I think these three options works. Option 1, the day before or midweek fraternities. This would be my go-to for most games. You could send in the group chat or text the starting pitcher and 1 to 2 backups directly the night before. Share the full lineup with the team via group chat so parents can see it too. Why it helps? Pitchers get to mentally rehearse. They can think through their sequence, visualize facing the other team's top hitters. Hitters know their spot, can build some excitement, and avoid that wait, I'm leading off? It teaches responsibility like the pros do. They start building routines, extra swings in the backyard, positive self-talk, whatever works for them. Option 2, morning of or 1 to 2 hours before. If the team's younger, say 10U or below, or if a kid gets super anxious with advance notice, shorten it. Still better than the warm-up surprise, but keep things lighter. What to avoid? The last minute drop unless it's an absolute emergency, like injury, weather, pitch count carryover. Don't wait until warm-ups. It can set kids up to feel like they failed before they even throw a pitch or take it on a bat. We've all seen the kid who looked rattled from the first inning because the news hit too late. Quick tips for coaches and parents listening. Use a team app or group text. Include the parents so they can reinforce positivity. Always have a backup plan and explain changes calmly. Hey, we're flipping spots because of how yesterday went. Let's see you crush it up top today. Rotate the lineup game to game for fairness. Nobody sits bottom forever. Watch your players. Some thrive on advance notice. Others do better with shorter windows. Adjust per kid. Bottom line, in travel baseball, a little prep time goes a long way. It builds confidence, reduces surprises, and lets kids show up ready to compete. You're not turning them into robots. You're giving them tools to handle the mental side of the game, which matters more every year as they climb. Let's shift the gears to the mental game. Parents wish coaches knew their words or yelling can make or break a kid's love for baseball. Yelling at them in front of the team during a game or practice, that's a confidence killer, and it can be demoralizing. Look, I've been there. Mid-inning frustration boils over, the kids aren't executing, and boom, out comes the volume. But let's talk about why we need to pump the brakes on that habit, why it's not helping as much as we think, and how we can shift to smarter, more effective ways to handle those tough moments. This isn't about being soft. It's about being better coaches who build stronger players. First off, let's break down why we yell in the first place. In the heat of a game or practice, it's often about grabbing attention in chaotic environments. Bases loaded, crowd noise, kids zoning out. Or maybe it's to amp up the intensity and push for more effort when things are slipping. And yeah, sometimes it's just plain old frustration venting, a carryover from how we were coached back in the day. But here's the thing. For 12U kids, yelling isn't the motivator we imagine it to be. Studies on youth sports psychology show that constant raised voices can actually spike anxiety, kill confidence, and make players tune out over time. These kids are not pros. They're still learning the game, their bodies, and how to handle pressure. Yelling might get a short-term reaction, but it doesn't teach. It intimidates. And in the long run, it can lead to burnout, kids quitting the sport, or even resenting the game we all love. So, why shouldn't we be doing this as much? Simple. It shifts the blame onto the players when a lot of the times it's on us as coaches. Before you raise your voice next time, ask yourself two key questions. Did I prepare them enough for this situation? And does this even make logical sense? If a kid boots a grounder in a big spot, was it because they weren't focused or because we didn't drill that scenario enough in practice? If they're not hustling, is it laziness or do we fail to explain why that extra step matters? Yelling doesn't fix root issues, it masks them. And logically, kids at this age are sponges for positive vibes. Harsh criticism sticks, but it doesn't build skills or resilience like thoughtful guidance does. All right, coaches, let's flip the script. What can we do instead to handle these situations without the decibels? Start with better prep up front. Ramp up your practice plans to simulate game chaos. Run drills with distractions, time pressure, and clear expectations. That way, when the real moment hits, they're ready, and you won't feel the need to yell. In the moment, try nonverbal cues first. A whistle blast to reset focus, hand signals for quick corrections, or even a timeout huddle for calmed redirects. Positive reinforcement is gold. Catch them doing something right and shout that out instead. Great hustle on that play. Goes way further than what were you thinking. For bigger issues, pull a player aside for one-on-one chat. It's private, it's respectful, and it turns a mistake into a teachable moment. And hey, mix in some humor or encouragement to keep the energy light. These kids look up to us. Let's model composure under fire. I've seen it on my own team. Less yelling means more engagement, better retention of what we're teaching, and honestly, more fun for everyone. Positive reinforcement is key. A 2025 study from Abilene Christian University says 80 to 90% of coach talk should be encouraging. Athletes perform better and stick around longer. A PBS CCS research shows teaching growth mindset and emotional control helps young players bounce back from errors. And just like many other studies, UConn psych study on baseball's mental side links toughness to better physical play. Kids quit by middle school if it's not fun. National Alliance for Youth Sports says 70% drop out by 13 because of pressure. Ever seen a kid strike out and the coach goes, shake it off like it's Taylor Swift? Stuff like that works better than what were you thinking? Fun drills, small wins, keep it light. Players, if you're watching, don't be afraid to talk to your coach if something's bugging you. We're all here to help, not make issues worse. All right, family and life balance perspective. Parents wish coaches remembered that baseball isn't life, or at least not the only thing. School, siblings, family trips, or other sports. Parents don't want to be guilt tripped for missing a practice. First off, parents, you're the MVPs of this whole operation. I see you out there, shuttling between school projects, little bro or little sis's soccer games, and that family trip you've had booked since last winter. And yeah, when Junior misses a practice, it can feel like you're benching his Hall of Fame dreams. But here's the science slapping that guilt right out of the park. A 2024 report from American Academy of Pediatrics show that nearly 1 in 10 youth athletes report burnout. A whopping 70% quit organized sports at age 13. Why? Overscheduling and all that baseball all the time vibe turns fun into grind. Instead, letting kids dip into other sports or just chill with family. Studies scream it's a win. Multi sports kids have lower injury rates, better overall athleticism, and way less burnout. Think about it. Your kid playing basketball in the off season isn't slacking, is building speed, agility, and that killer crossover that'll translate to stealing bases. Hello. Plus, research from the National Federation of State High School Association says multi-sport athletes are more coachable, fiercer competitors, and less likely to flame out earlier. So, next time coach gives you the stink eye, flash him a smile and say, "Science says we're good." Now, coaches, yeah, I'm looking in the mirror here too. We love our diamond time, but let's not pretend missing one practice is like forgetting the in-flight rule in the World Series. If there is many practices missed, then I totally get it. Parents wish we remember life's bigger than batting averages. And get this, recent studies back them up big time. A 2024 NIH study on kids from 7th to 12th grade found burnout in sports hovers around 19 to 23%, but it spikes when school's in the mix. Hello, homework overload. Early specialization is linked to higher exhaustion and dropout rates, per a 2025 study in the International Journal of Adolescence and Youth. Who knew forcing kids to live, eat, and breathe baseball might make them not want to? Instead, encourage that balance. Data from MLB Pro shows less than half specialized as kids, 44.5 to be exact, and multi-sport backgrounds mean fewer injuries and more games played in the big leagues. US born players who did specialize started later, around 15, and reported more injuries from it. So, when a player skips for a sibling's recital, high five them. They're building resilience, not rust. And players, this one's for you young guns listening in the back seat. Baseball's awesome, but grinding nonstop? Science says, nah, bruh. Rest and recovery aren't lazy, they're your secret weapon. The AAP recommends at least one full day off per week from organized sports, and studies show active recovery like light tossing or stretching speeds up muscle repair and cuts soreness by up to 50%. Skip the all-nighters on Fortnite. Get that sleep. It's when your body rebuilds. Multi-sport, it amps your skills without the burnout. One study found it boosts cognitive stuff like decision making, which means smarter plays on the field. You're not just a pitcher or a shortstop, you're a kid with life. Embrace it, and the game will love you back longer. As a dad coach hybrid, I've lived this. I've asked Dan if he wanted to go to the Christmas lights at the local zoo, fully knowing we would miss practice, and he was down. Some may laugh at this, but my time is limited with my son. We had fun, took lots of pictures, drank some hot chocolate, and munched on one of my favorite snacks, warm roasted pecans. I can literally taste them right now, actually. We simply gave ourselves a mental break from our overly packed schedule and spent some well-needed quality time together. We came back sharper, not sloppier. Science on rest backs it. Overuse without recovery leads to injuries that sideline kids way more than a missed drill. And humor me here. If MLB stars like those multi-sport legends made it without chaining themselves to a cage 24/7, your 12U All-Star can handle a weekend off. It's not about perfect attendance. It's about loving the game without it loving you to death. So to sum it up with a wink, baseball's great, but it's not the boss of your calendar. Parents, ditch the guilt. Science says balance breeds better ball players. Coaches, ease up on the side eye. Data shows rest equals results. Players, mix it up and recover right. You'll crush it longer. Family trips, other sports, they're not distractions. They're the recharge that keeps the fun in fundamentals. What about you? Have you felt the burnout? Got a multi-sport success story? Hit us up on our socials or drop a review. We'd love the deets. Coaches, it is important on how we treat our parents and players. It matters. Appreciate the support, time, money, endless long carpools. Parents are the unsung heroes hauling gear like pack mules. Parents, please make sure that you communicate with the coaches that the boys will be missing practice. This helps the coaches with planning practices. For future reference, if your child misses practices, they're potentially missing something valuable to make them better or the team better, especially when it comes to working on scenarios and situational stuff. So, players, treat it like a missing assignment for school. When you get back to practice, or you can even do it beforehand, make sure to talk to the coaches on what you missed and what you can do to not miss a beat. Don't allow yourself to never be prepared. This shows accountability and responsibility. So the top things parents wish coaches knew: clear communication, fair play with rotations, positive vibes, and life balance. Make sure we communicate transparently. Rotate for development backed by that 25% motor skills boost. Reinforce positively, 80% rule, and respect families to cut the dropouts, that scary 70% stat. Well, that's going to do it for today. Thanks for tuning in. If this helped and you found value in this episode, then be sure to like, subscribe, and follow the podcast, and even share your stories. I'm Coach Bryan. Keep swinging for the fence. And until next time, we will see you on the field. Take care.